What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Diesel Dog video. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot at work right now. I'm getting ready to go in here in the morning, start my shift right now here in Illinois, 2 degrees. So cheers to that. It's been a while since I've done a coffee talk, so I threw up on the Instagram an opportunity for some people to ask me some questions, and I would answer them. So I got a few questions here I can answer real quick before I head in. I got a couple minutes. I'll squeeze this in. I've been busy at home with stuff, so it's been hard to make videos, but fit it in where I can here. Coffee talk. I'm drinking coffee before I go in. Works out. I'm not going to give names. I'm going to leave these anonymous. So first question, pretty heavy one. I left the field. Now what? I feel lost in so many ways. And you know, depending on how long you were in the field, how committed you were, where you were at when you left, you know, that's a tough question to answer. But personally, I've seen guys that I went to tech school with, I've seen guys that I work with get out of the field. And I mean, if it's something you've been doing and dedicated your life to for however many years, it's going to be hard no matter what, I think, if you leave and start over. But guys do it. There's other trades out there that are looking for guys. If you decide being a diesel mechanic is not what you want to do, unions are hiring, man. The operator unions are looking for people, plumbing unions, electricians, across the board, HVAC. I think the most transferable thing you could probably do from here is, you know, if you're working on diesels, then you can either go to heavy equipment or operating the heavy equipment if you're familiar with you know, machinery and equipment, or HVAC. We all deal with AC systems on these trucks and cars, and it's different, but I think it's transferable if you were to get in an apprenticeship as a HVAC tech or something and start over a little bit. But still, I think apprentice pay for a lot of these trades is still $30 an hour or more, depending on where you live. If you live in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to make as much. If you're closer to a city, or, you know, you got to have industry close by to make a good living, really. But I don't know. I mean, you just got to figure out what you like to do, and don't be afraid to jump on, you know, make a leap of faith on something that you enjoy doing. If there's something you've had in the back of your mind, I wish I would have done that, go for it. If it doesn't work out, at least you tried it. At least you can say you did something different and tried it. And things get a little more, you know, harder to do if you got a family you're taking care of and you can't afford to just have no pay for a while. That's hard to do. I understand that, but you just got to make it work. People do it. Hopefully that gives a little insight. You know, I've never left the field other than switching from automotive to diesel, which was kind of scary. You know, I was leaving something I'd done for almost 7 years and was familiar with, and was going to diesels, even though I took diesel at school. It was, that had been years prior to that. So it was a lot of learning. It was challenging, and I'm still learning to this day. I've been doing it for 8 years, and over 8 years. And I'm still learning new stuff, you know, almost daily. So it gets easier. Figure it out, what you want to do, get in it, and just dedicate your time to it. What would be the best advice you would give a 17-year-old going into the trade? I feel like I've answered this a few times, but I don't mind giving, you know, my 2 cents. Number one, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I always say it. I've said it time and time again, but you just got to have a good attitude getting into it. I think that when you're that young, 17, 18, even if you're coming out of tech school, you know, 18 or 19, and you get into a shop with some older guys, I feel like they automatically assume that you think that you know everything. They just automatically assume here's a young guy, he's going to come in here, he's going to think he knows everything, he's going to mess a bunch of stuff up. And it'll take time with some good attitude to change their mind. I think if you stay humble and you're not preaching to them, if they give advice, even if you don't like the advice, just thank them. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind next time. Appreciate it. Thanks for your help. be polite, good attitude. Don't complain. Number one thing, even if it sucks, even if the job sucks, you got to bottle it up. Don't complain. Don't let them hear you complain. That was like a conscious thing that I did when I got out of tech school, is when I started working and realized how kind of hard of work was in the automotive shop that I was at. You just can't complain. You just got to do it. I chose this. I still enjoy it. Complaining does what? You complain for however many minutes and then you stop complaining, and then the thing still needs fixed and it's still your job. So just got to suck it up, get it done, and learn from your mistakes, because they're going to happen. And I've said this time and time before. Learn from your mistakes, because if you're not making mistakes, then you're not working. No matter how good a tech you are, you're doing this thing day in, day out. Different trucks, different years, different engines, different mileages. Some trucks are just going to be plumb worn out, and certain things are going to break when you're coming apart. Do an exhaust manifold on an older truck, that can just be a domino effect of just bad stuff. So, not necessarily your fault. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes that contribute to that. You just got to learn from them. Some things you do, you're like, well, never going to do that again. I've had countless mistakes that I've only done once because they're just that bad. It's messed up. Next time you run into that, you already know. So starting from 17 and on, it's going to take some years of mistakes and learning. And you just got to learn from them. Don't make excuses. If you mess something up, own it. Don't do it again. And just do what you can to shape yourself into one of the best techs you can, 10 years down the road, 5-10 years, moving on from that. Eventually you'll be in a position where you can start giving knowledge to the younger person, and that's a good feeling when you get to that point. If you could custom build any old car truck, what would it be and what would you do to it? Oh boy, I have so many vehicles that I wish I could build. My 65 C10 I had for a while. I wish I never would have got rid of that. But I sold it to get the 454 SS, and I sold it just because we had a kid, house, bills were coming in, and I just was uncomfortable with the amount of stuff going on. So I sold it to kind of give us a little bit of a cushion at the time. Which, do I regret it? Obviously I did it for a reason, so to say I regret it, I wish I still had it. But currently, if I could build an old car truck, man, I think I would do a K5 Blazer or a Jeep Cherokee, like XJ. I've always loved the XJs, and if my buddy Mike's watching this, he's gonna text me and tell me, dude, just get a freaking XJ. So if I could build a 4x4 right now, it would be an XJ or the K5 Blazer, and put a built small block in it, and just have fun in those things. That's probably where I'd be at right now. Something with four-wheel drive. I used to be in the lower trucks, and I still like them. But currently, if I was going to build something, I think it'd be four-wheel drive. Or a street rod. I always loved street rods. My dad and his cousins have always been in street rods. So money, like if money was no issue, I think today I would go out and get a K5, strip it down, full body paint. I'd still put a carbureted small block in it, built up, just because I love them, and pull the top off and just drive the kids around, drive the family around. That'd be a nice, little hopper on the weekends, and go to car shows and stuff. That'd probably be what I do right now. How to get better at diagnosing. It just takes practice. I struggled with electrical diagnostics, for my first few years in the trade, and couple times got a little discouraged. I didn't think I was going to get much better than I was. But eventually you do enough of it and it gets easier. Some guys are whizzes at it right off the bat. Took me some practice, even like today at, at 35 years old, been doing this. Sometimes I still run into something that takes me a little bit to work through. Honestly, that's really the only answer is practice, study. Take your time with wiring diagrams and go through your flow charts, and sometimes those aren't even foolproof. Sometimes you get some experience, you realize that there'll be some things you want to check yourself that aren't on the chart, and you'll get there. You just got to keep at it. Your boss or whatever gives you one, you're like, yeah, I've never diagnosed that, but I'm down to look into it. Let's do it. Ask some questions. If you got questions, ask older guys. Let them know, like, this, I checked this, and I'm still not coming up with anything. Is there anything, can I pick your brain? Is there anything I can, you can think of that I can check out while I'm right here? And most guys will give you an answer. Last question. I got to get into work here. If you had to do it all over again, would you still be a diesel mechanic? Short answer, yes. I definitely think leaving automotive, I'm glad I got that experience because it transferred over here. Now I'm working on a lot of like light duty, medium duty trucks, and I had some experience doing some of that stuff at the shop I was at before. But I just loved working on these diesel trucks, man. It's a different breed. It's a lot more fun to me. The sounds, the smell of the shop, when you walk in the morning, you smell, it's just a different smell, the diesel shop. And just working on these big engines and big trucks, big jobs, you've got to head off one of these big trucks and you get it all back together, and I love that feeling of big engine job in automotive, like, a head gasket job on something, and you get back together and that first fire up and it's running and it's warming up and everything's working, and that's a great feeling. But these big trucks, just when you hear it rev up for the first time, and the sound, the smell, the smoke coming out because it's burning all the stuff out of the cylinders still that you missed. I don't know. I love it. So I know I say that a lot. I love this job, but I truly do love this job. It's hard. It's dirty work. A lot of guys are working long hours, and it's not for everyone. It doesn't mean anyone's less of a man than anyone in this field. I understand that this job is not going to be for everyone. If I could change anything, I don't think I would change anything for sure. That's pretty much all I got. Thanks guys for asking the questions. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully I answered these, okay. And I'm gonna take another sip of coffee here just to toast you guys out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.